Hey everyone, thanks for being here. Before we get into it with our next guest, I just want to take the opportunity to ask our audience to support our mission. Please leave a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel, and if you really like it and enjoy it, share with your friends and family. All the love is appreciated. Thank you very much. To the podcast.
Nice.
Jamie, it's so good to have you on. How are you?
Dude, it's good. Thanks for having me, man. It's good to be on. I'm awesome. Saturday morning here. What, afternoon now? Sun shining in Portugal. Got a Superboc on the go. Happy days.
Happy days. Which part of Portugal are you in?
South of Lisbon. Almada,
yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long have you been there already?
You're born and raised in Toronto, or have you ever lived here?
So my story is I was born in Brampton, in the Toronto area. And then when I was 12, my parents moved back home to Portugal. So I grew up there my teen years and my early adult years. I lived for 20 years in Portugal.
Man, amazing.
In the center of the country, in Leiria. Do you know that area, Leiria?
I know it only because of what we've been doing, traveling around, eating food.
So it's going to be close to... It's going to be close to... People will know more like those towns, Nazaré, Fatima. It's in that area.
Yeah. Cool. Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
And then I moved back here like 10, 12 years ago.
How's Toronto treating you?
It's changing, like everything is changing, but, it's fine. We managed to pay the bills. It's not treating me bad. It gave me an opportunity to a new start where I wasn't managing like financially in Portugal. And hey, listen, I can't complain. Like I've been doing okay.
Yeah, good for you, man. Good for you. And suffering through the -20 winters.
Yeah, that's the worst part. The good thing about it though is in the houses, like you don't feel it, right? So like whereas in Portugal, like if you don't have heating, you're cold outside and in. Sometimes it's worse in the house. So
man, interesting. Yeah, I was in Berlin, living in Berlin before Portugal.
Yeah.
And like it gets cold, but it's made for that. But Portugal, like
it's like here,
the house.
But Portugal is not like that.
Yeah, I was in Australia as well before Germany, and it was nowhere in Australia I lived had double glazing or aircon. So everywhere was like absolutely boiling in summer and just freezing in winter.
Yeah. You're obviously
when I say cold, I wear a sweatshirt down to the beach.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
That's all good. Hey, sometimes people romanticize the weather in Portugal. Then when they put their toes in the Atlantic Ocean, they're like, "Holy shit, what is this?"
100%. Yeah, no need for a cold plunge. Like that's the one.
Exactly what I was gonna say. People have been romanticizing cold plunges the past 5-10 years, and we're like, "Hey, buddy, in Portugal, we cold plunge every year. Every year, we cold plunge."
It's 100%, man. It's very, very true.
So you have this amazing thing that you're building, the Global Food Quest. How did this come about? What is it?
Dude, thank you. That's a real compliment. We're starting to get better. I'm pleased with it now. It's been about an 8-year and counting passion project.
Yeah.
That came about. Okay, my background, I'm an actor, right?
Okay.
But my passion has always been food, wine, beer, food and booze, and travel, culture. So I got to a period in my life, a crossroads, where my acting career was coming to an end. And I ended up about 15 years ago in Iquitos, Peru for ayahuasca, right? And along with a million other reasons of being there at that point in time for that reason, I was also trying to work out what to do directionally with my life. And to cut a very long story short, out of all the life epiphanies and deep spiritual learnings one might glean from those types of experiences, I came out of it going, I'm going to fucking make food content like that. I'm going to do that, which stemmed from a really crazy deep session where I just was like relentlessly fetishizing.
I mess up the word. So here,
fascinating.
This is
I couldn't get my mind off a grilled
you can
cheese
forget the
sandwich
words here.
anyway.
It's okay. This is a friendly atmosphere for that.
Yeah.
I do
So
it all the
I
time.
basically like everyone in this one ceremony was going deep. There were people wailing around me. There was all kinds of people having all kinds of experiences. And I was just lying there. I couldn't stop thinking about grilled cheese sandwiches. And I was, and you know, you're on a special dieta before, like ayahuasca and all of this. And so, you know, it's all, and I was just there and I just thought, I suddenly realized, oh, that's your answer to one of the questions is like, do food, man. That's what you're like. That's your passion. So yeah, while everyone is around me having spiritual epiphanies, I was there just coming up with recipes for grilled cheese sandwiches. And after that, I went to New York City after that. And I went to Katz's Delicatessen and I got the pastrami and rye and a Dr. Pepper. And I posted my first ever piece of food content. And then like it kind of began. It was posting and I had a big idea for Global Food Quest, really, for just a food and culture show, of which there are many. But that's where it began, dude. That's the long story long.
That's amazing. You're doing a great job with it, man. Because your personality brings to the table too. It's not just the idea; it's you as a person who's delivering like the message. It's great, man. It's great to see.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks. Well, and to be honest, what's been absolutely genius is coming to Portugal. 2 reasons. I've met my partner here, who together he's the tech side, so he's the director of photography. He can shoot. So he shoots, edits, helps bring the vision to life. So together, it can really kind of be what I want it to be and what we both sort of aligned on and want it to become. But the fact that we happen to be based in Portugal, like maybe like one of Europe's most underrepresented, brilliantly underdiscovered cuisines, is just genius because these stories haven't seen the light of day. Like who's gone up to eat the lamprey fish in the river near Coimbra and had like it with its, you know, cooked in its own blood and rice and there's no show on that. Like Mark Weens didn't do it, Anthony Bourdain didn't do it. No one's done it. But so we get to be like,
they only focus on the main things. Yeah,
well, man, we get to go and do all this stuff and tell these stories about your food that's hundreds of years old in many cases, and dishes that haven't changed as well for like centuries, and like tell their story for the first time. So just when you thought all the food stories and all the food content you've ever seen have been like filmed, shot, tasted, and done, I'm like, oh my God, we're sitting in Portugal. Like we've got stories to tell.
Did you come to Portugal for the purpose of the content, or you happened to go to Portugal and then you developed the content there, like for it?
No, it was coming to Portugal. Well, I've got 2 kids, young kids, and they were born and raised in Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't want them to become 10, 11, 12 teenagers in Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
I used to live in Australia, and so I had that taste of what it's like to live by the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted that for the kids and for me again, and my missus. So Berlin was like this 8-year process of trying to figure out the jigsaw pieces to get the family to the beach. Long story short, a lot of head maths going on there. So like, where's the beach? Where's the place in Europe?
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of, and the Ukraine war had just broken out, and like Berlin was like 600 miles from the front. And so, you know, where's safe? Portugal's like out the way, but it's still on the European mainland. So it was close enough to my parents, our grandparents who all live in the UK, to not take the kids to Australia. Historically neutral in the wars. Like it's got some of the oldest borders in Europe. So it's got this cultural identity that, despite I said this once before, but despite our obvious massive differences, British people and Portuguese, we do have the Treaty of Windsor, and we do have this relentlessly long historical
the longest lasting
alliance.
one.
So, you know, there's despite the frictions, and there are frictions, it's a much better fit than, say, going, maybe for me it was anyway, than going to other possible destinations in Europe. It just made a lot of sense for like all those reasons.
What was your first encounter? Like, what was your first impression of Portuguese food? What was it, and how surprising was it?
Well, we all know the basics, right? We all know pastel de nata and grilled sardines. But I think what blew me away, and that I didn't realize was a Portuguese thing that existed, and no one knows. Even tourists, I don't think have any idea about your culture with like leitão. So that was like the eye-opening kind of peak gastronomic experience that just kind of, I sort of went like, oh my God, like Portugal, like wow. So that was eye-opening. And your beef culture, like no tourist, no one knows that there's a massive beef culture in Portugal. Seafood rice, like the fact that, and all your ingredients, the fact that you've got basically the best fish and the best fish markets coming in from the Atlantic. Or my local beach has javga fishing, this ancient style of fishing, which used to be done with horses and oxen, where they cast the net out into the ocean and then just pull the net in off the beach. And that's not a tourist attraction here. It's done on a daily basis on my local beach. And you go down there and, I mean, I bought the freshest mackerel you've ever seen, massive bag, maybe 10 kilograms for like, you just couldn't do it in any other country. And it just blows me away. So you've got all this stuff that's kind of, you imagine might be part of like an ancient, wonderful European culture. Where if you go to the Mediterranean, it's like there's fishing boats and stuff, but there's no fish in the damn sea, man. And here fish are being pulled in on the beach, and it's a wonderful thing to see, man. It's amazing. It should have UNESCO World Heritage protection. It's like intangible culture. I was sort of tagging them in my video saying you have to protect our javga. So yeah, let's see. That's one of my missions. Get that protected by UNESCO.
You already got a mission going. Good for you, man.
It's important, and you guys have got such a strong identity here. Like people, I mentioned there's friction, and rightly so. But the Portuguese identify with their heritage and culture so much they don't want it changed. Yeah. And funnily enough, I just checked in on a video. I started doing threads. And I posted something on Threads. Giles Coran, I don't know if you know him, he's a famous British food critic. And he wrote a scathing piece in 2015 about Portuguese food and Polish and British and Irish food. He kind of wrote them all off with one very linguistically gifted stroke of his pen. So I kind of posted that on Threads, reading through the thing, with the intention to then be showing under the thread, like what I've learned and how I was going to go through each point and just smash it. But I just checked back in just before we spoke, and I started by reading his quote, and there's just a load of people just go, "You arsehole, like get out." I'm like, it wasn't my words. If you listen to the whole video, I'm sort of talking. Yeah. But anyway, the point is, people in that are like, that's fine. You don't like our food, our culture, good. Stay away. Too many tourists. So people want the Portuguese culture protected. And I think that's a really powerful, awesome thing. As a tourist, when that can go against me, I kind of really respect it. I think it's important.
Yeah, we've been seeing these charts coming up lately about, how they've been ranking the Portuguese culinary in the top, 4 or 5, but it isn't truly internationally recognized the same as like Japanese or French or Italian. Why do you think that is?
I think it's been historically underrepresented. I've sort of thought about this. I don't have a strong view as to why. But I think maybe we could look at what Giles Coran said and start from there, a bit like British cuisine. So if I said to someone, tell me about Britain, they'll go, oh, the Queen, fish and chips. Well, if you go and eat fish and chips in the UK, It might be good. It might be terrible. Either way, it's not going to blow you away. It's an experience where you're like, okay, I ate fish and chips. So, but if that's all you've got to go on, you're missing sticky toffee pudding. You're missing suet sponges. You're
And you know what the
missing
funny
our
thing is
roasts and
about
our
that
Yorkshire
is?
puddings and our gravies. You're missing the fact that London is one of the culinary capitals of the world. And I think that might have been what's happened with Portugal.
The funny thing is that fish and chips you brought up, you know, that deep fried fish was actually a thing brought from Portugal, eh?
It's from you guys. That's a story I want to tell.
Yeah.
Give us a bit of the history quickly. Go on, because I'm actually yet to fully dig into that. But you're right.
I don't know
it
too well. There's multiple versions of it. The one that people bring up the most is when the Jews were persecuted, they brought it there, the Portuguese Jews. But I think it's been long before that, because there's been this historical trade. They've been traders coming in and out. You can only imagine that technique would have been brought to the UK even earlier. But it's funny though, eh? Even the tea, right? The happy tea hour. That's another one.
Well, I mean, that was your Queen Caterina de Braganza, who brought tea to the Brits.
Made it popular.
Yeah, like it was you guys. Tempura to Japan. It was you guys.
Yeah.
Oranges, sweet oranges to the whole of Europe.
Yeah.
That was you guys. Chilies to the chilies outside of the Amazon basin. That was the Portuguese. Like there is a massive yin and yang to the upside of the age of discoveries, and these moments of early trade have vast butterfly effects, and it all is thanks to the Portuguese.
Even tomatoes, like tomatoes, we end up bringing, like, the whole of Europe, Africa didn't have it. Like we brought it from the Central America. So, it's funny how things are, moved from one place to another. Then they create famous dishes like those, like Indian spicy dishes. They didn't have certain spices there.
Didn't have them yet. I did a video about that one on Vindaloo, right? Which is like one of the most famous Indian curry dishes in the UK. And it came from the early Portuguese sailors. I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but vinho de arroz.
Yeah, vinho
so it was the pork with vinegar, potatoes. And then, of course, when you got to Goa, the Goan chefs there just smashed it with spice. The Brits then came and we loved it, and we took it back with all our Navy officers.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like it's pretty much a national dish in England.
That's how it is.
But it began with the Portuguese.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, isn't it? I was looking on your just before we started the call, I was having a look at your previous guests, and Roger Crawley or Crowley. I just finished a couple of his books, man. His book Spice is another level. It's so good. I'm listening to it for the second time.
Yeah. It's a good book.
So I'm going to be, I hadn't actually, until you got in touch with me, I hadn't seen your stuff, but I'm going to be going through every podcast you've done, dude.
You
just
gotta,
like sucking up the info.
If you're going to read the Roger Crowley one, get to the Conquers too. It's a really good book about how Portugal, it's called Conquers. That's what our podcast was about. Yeah, it's Conquers, how Portugal forged the first global empire.
Cool. Thank you.
That one, basically, it's not like a whole historical document, but it's like he narrates the first 18, 19 years of how Portugal eventually, how they shaped the trade route and trading posts on the Eastern Africa and India and Asia. It's like the early years.
Nice.
It's a good book.
Interesting. I'll listen. I really like the anecdote. I'm going to want to bring it into some of our content, actually, which was why I tell some of the stories. But when you get those really nice, wonderfully kind of historical, but almost anecdotal quotes from just early sailors having their first ever experiences at the time with like brand new islands, and they didn't know what's coming. So one island, boom, there's like, feel each other out. There's friendship there. They're like, there's a bit of barter. There's a back and forward. Next island, we're eating each other. It's like, I stand there on the beach sometimes and I say to my mate, I can't help but just imagine those first caravel coming out and just heading heading out
especially
to sea
they were
with those
heading to
early
the unknown,
instruments,
with
heading
no
to the
promise of
unknown
coming back.
at all. Yeah, like what, adventures like that don't exist anymore.
There's old sayings that say, for example, the Atlantic Ocean is so salty because of the tears that were, cried in the ocean, from
I haven't
like
heard
the
that.
salesmen and the widows and mothers who lost their sons to the ocean. So
Say
yeah.
that. So that's quite Fado, that.
Yeah, but that's where the whole sentiment of saudade comes, and fado, the melancholic. Yeah.
It's from that. From saying goodbye, saying what might have been real goodbyes anytime
Yeah.
someone went out to sea. I mean, you didn't know, did you, if they were coming back? So
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't.
it's
And
goodbye.
the proof of the pudding is that half the men never did come back. So
Yeah. So Vasco da Gama on when he finally touched down on the Spice Islands, he went out with 150 and came back with 50 or something.
it
Is
was
that
something
right?
like that. I can't recall the numbers right now, but when
Yeah,
Vasco da Gama
sure.
went, I think by the time he went, they actually took more men. I think, but I can't recall. I'd rather look that up before I say something about it.
But just to your point, he went with a
Yeah,
load of men and he came back
yeah,
with maybe a third.
yeah, yeah. For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
you've been
don't
in
know how
Portugal.
well.
No, I was just gonna say you've been in Portugal for quite some time already, and you've experienced it not just as a tourist. What would you say is the biggest difference between like tourist Portugal and like real Portugal when it comes to food?
It's huge. It's huge, I think. If we were to take, I think, for example, if you come to Lisbon, you're going to get what's currently turning into, one of the world's most popular city destinations. So with that comes a plethora of restaurants from all around the world. From a culinary perspective, it's amazing. Lisbon now has more Michelin-starred restaurants per capita than Paris.
I didn't
From
know that
a
one. Good.
local's perspective who lives in Lisbon, that's just another shot in the arm because it's them getting priced out of
Yeah,
their houses. From a Londoner's perspective, we could never live in Zone 1 London in my lifetime. It's just very normal that you don't live there. So you're like, oh, that's normal for a city. But it hasn't historically been normal for Lisbon. So if you travel to Lisbon, you're going to see a glossy Portuguese version of another big city with beautiful restaurants, bars, and tascas. If you travel out of the cities, you're going to find these beautiful old towns where every single town has its own pastry, or quite often something called a conventional sweet, which are pastries that come from the convent nuns.
yes, that's right. Yeah,
And every town will have one pastry that has been that town's signature pastry for, again, it could be hundreds of years.
yeah.
There'll be a tasca in each town where the locals always go and everyone always goes and eats. A churrasquera, which is a barbecue restaurant, but not barbecue in the sense that Americans or or maybe Canadians might know, but grilling, where you'll get grilled pork ribs, grilled chicken. We're obviously doing our Piri Piri 100, but it's grilled chicken restaurants. And I think you're just gonna see real Portugal where the real local Portuguese eat, and you'll know it will feel authentic, and it should also be priced appropriately as well. That would be my takeaway. Interestingly, in the Algarve, I've been, which is the most touristy place in Portugal, like I guess outside of Lisbon and the big cities. But interestingly, I've been to the Algarve on a number of times as a Brit, right? It's obviously full of loads of English people. My apologies to all the local Portuguese. And thank you for having us. We do appreciate your
It does feel
tolerance.
like a different country down there.
It is. It just is, isn't it? It's a bit British. It's too English.
Hey, it's still fun and nice nonetheless, but it does feel like you're in a different spot.
It's fun. One of the waiters, I said, he said, "Oh, I used to work in Albufeira," and I was, that's like known to be full of kind of the worst kind of Brits. If you want to have a fight,
Albufeira,
you go out there. And I said, how was it? He was like, oh, I loved it. And I said, oh, good, thanks. I said, I'm sorry for any. He was like, no, it's great. The British girls were great. He's reckoned he had the pick of the bunch when he was out there
But
working
that's
as a
been a
young waiter.
long-lasting thing too. Like a lot of the Brits and German and Dutch would come to the Algarve. And the funny thing is I don't know how they work this out, but they'll go like the group of female friends will go, and then the group of the husbands will go. Like I don't know how they do this, but they work this out. And then whatever
do
they
like
do there, no
separate
one knows.
things?
Yeah.
Do you like this separate, same but separate?
Yeah, they do their own separate vacations so many times. I don't know how they work that out.
Yeah. It's a thing. Yeah.
Well, it was a thing 20
But
years ago. I'm not too sure how it is right now, to be honest. But
I
it was
don't know
definitely a
now
big thing.
either. But so I've been down there and I've driven through the Algarve, and interestingly, I've had some amazing, very Portuguese experiences there. Stop at a place called Ash. I'm going to forget the name of the place, but we haven't filmed this place yet. But I'm going to film it as part of our Piri Piri 100 series. It's a churrasquera just outside of a little town called Ash on the way to Lagos in the Western Algarve.
All right.
And it's an old farm, and that place has a line forming of about 11 a.m. for people going in for frango asado, for grilled chicken, and fish. But it's all Portuguese people. There's no tourists, even though you're you're outside all the golf courses of the Algarve. But yeah, even in the most touristy places, if you head to a tasca or a churrasquera, you're going to get an authentic Portuguese experience.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever walked into like this random restaurant in the middle of like nowhere in Portugal? And while you're there you're thinking like, how does nobody know of this spot? Like, how is this just such a little local thing that no one knows of this?
Yeah. Yes, I have. And it goes back to the leitão, right? So the most famous restaurant for leitão, which is suckling pig, was the history of that dish actually comes back from Roman time. But it's near you, right? Near Leira.
Yeah, so the most famous is in Mielhada, which would be closer to Coimbra. But then we have a spot in Leiria, was probably the second, Boa Vista. But Pombal is like we have a good area for leitão.
Yeah, as well. So that driving through there is classic. So you've never heard of this dish in your life as a tourist. You don't even know it's part of Portuguese culture. And then you're driving through, and there's like every side of the road, restaurant. And I mean like massive restaurants, like Australian-sized pub, huge buildings. Leitão. They're all doing this one dish. And you're like, who's eating here? And then, anyway, we went to the most famous one, Mugassa. And you go all the way through Mielhada, and then outside the other side, and you're driving through, like, it feels like a British country lane, right? Like two cars wouldn't pass. There's no one around. There's like a couple of horses and a cow on the side of the road. And then you start getting to a village. And as we got into the village, there was just nowhere to park. And I thought, it still didn't click. I just thought, I think it was Sunday. Like everyone's at church. Wow, yes, they must be. It's Portugal. They're religious. Everyone's devoted, and they've gone to, they've gone.
Used to be
church.
more, but yes.
Yeah, they've gone to church. And then I get to the restaurant, and dude, this place is like freaking London Chinatown. First floor, second floor, back room, third room, terrace, like maybe 300 covers of people just eating there to eat leitão. And I'm like, oh my, to go back to your question, what did I think? I thought, I never knew anything like this existed. I felt like I was in a 4-floor restaurant in Chinatown in London on a Saturday night. It was rammed in the middle of nowhere.
Let me ask you a fun question. Let's say, you come over to Portugal as a tourist, and I give you 50 euros to eat as a Portuguese throughout that day. So you're going to have breakfast, lunch, a snack, dinner, a dessert, and a drink.
I like that.
What's the day looking like?
Man, it's probably looking like most of my days. Okay, breakfast, lunch, dinner, a snack, and a drink. Well, breakfast, you're heading out to a local pasteleria, right, for a pastry. and then take your pick. They're going to have a million options. Most of them will have some kind of an egg custard or cream within a sponge or within some pastry. Hey, if you've not had one, okay, you're going to have to eat a pastel de nata, and it's incredible. It lives up to the hype. So, you know what I mean? You have to. If you've had one of those before, there's about 100 other things to choose that are amazing. So you got a pastry, you're having your beaker, right? Your espresso coffee as well, which is just really strong, delicious espresso. Or I actually have the one, you know, with a little touch of milk on the top.
Yeah. Pingo or something. Yeah,
Pingado, cafe pingado. Yeah, so you're smashing a couple of those. Then for lunch, talking like we're going out for lunch now.
Yeah, now we're going to go for lunch. Let's go.
All right, well, we're going for lunch. Then I feel like we're going to go out and we're going to eat grilled sardines if it's the season. It's the season now. It's sunny. So it's light. You're going out for grilled sardines. You're going to know when you get there because you're going to be hit by the smell of Portugal, the wafting smoke. And you're going to be like, someone is grilling sardines here. You're going to have it with the salad and you're going to over olive oil, over salt and over vinegar the salad to cut through the sardines. And it's just tomato, lettuce, white onion. And it's a match made in heaven. It's perfection. You're going to have that with at least 3 beers. If you're Portuguese, you would be having the Imperial. If you're a British heathen, you have Canecas, which are kind of like pints. And then you're going to sit back after that and you're just going to go, Portugal, baby. And you're happy. You're very happy right now, right? After that, you're going to need another couple of cafe pingados, right? Goes without saying.
Okay, yeah.
You're going to need cafe pingados and you're going to go find the nearest beach and you're going to have a big ass walk on it. And you're going to experience the most beautiful, unfathomably wild, gorgeous beaches with the best sand ever. And you're just going to appreciate the moment whilst imagining the caravels floating out to sea. You're going to get a bit romantic. Then we're going for dinner. Are we eating on the beach? I mean, we're Portuguese here. So I know we're doing Portuguese. We're on the 50 euros. So you're not eating on the beach. You might be eating at the beach, but you're not front line. So you're eating at the beach in a beach town, but you're going off the beach.
Yeah.
You're like, there's where everyone's parking their cars. You're not front line. You're not having an ocean view and you're finding the nearest Tasca. And you're going to, your bill's halved instantly. Boom, bill's halved. You're going to now need a bottle of Vino Verde, crisp, icy, fresh. And you're going to sit there. There's fish on the menu. There's fish everywhere, but you've eaten fish for lunch. So you're going to order a bitoque. Okay. And it's going to come. It's a little cut of beef, fried with garlic and light little sauce. And it's going to come with fries, beef, a salad, chips. You've got you're not having Vino Verde. You're having Vino de Casa. You're having the house white wine, which will come in a jug. So you're fine. You've got plenty. And you're going to have just the most delicious steak dish. It's going to cost you 10 euros. Maybe the wine's going to cost you €3.50. And by that time, when you finish that off, you'll be ready to go home.
Hold on. Before you go home, you got to top it off with the dessert. Come on.
Oh my gosh, you got to have a dessert. What? I'm in total fantasy land here. You've got to stop me. I'm slumming it.
Just one.
The best, for me, the best, there's this dessert which comes with like past noodles, right? And the egg custard, aletrea. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Aletrea. You're going to go, either way, you're going to go to basically an iconic, what you might recognize as a tourist as being like an old school Italian style dessert fridge.
Yeah.
Where you're going to get to look through the window. And there's going to be various different desserts. Take your pick, but if they've got aletrea, you're getting that. It's custardy, delicious, rich, cinnamon, creamy, sweet noodles.
I feel like
you were born for and then we go home.
What's that?
Glass of port. Then a glass of port before going home.
To digest everything.
A little glass of port to digest things. Maybe a shot of firewater. Then you're going home. Or are you going out? I don't know. Maybe you're going out.
No. Well, you can't do like 50, it runs a little bit, but it doesn't run that long.
You're not going out. So I think that, no, jokes aside, yeah. So on the 50, so we did a beaker, a beaker, a cake, sardines, 10, and that when the top 10.
Yeah.
Dude, that you've done that in €50, man.
I feel like you're made for this answer, man.
You sent me off into fantasy world. Sorry.
That was so precise.
I was there.
Good job. All right. In the beginning, you talked about how you explored these fishermen and and these farmers. I've seen you've done stuff with winemakers. What have these people taught you, like when you're with them?
To be proud and stubborn and conscious of your heritage and culture, and protective and celebratory at the same time of your traditions. Because intangible culture is only handed down by the gatekeepers. And that's our job as whatever culture you're from. If you want your children to experience a bit of what, your grandparents had, the only way to do it is to ensure that you somehow enshrine some of those practices in, and preserve them. And I think that's what I notice. Like the fish, going back to our Javga and the fishermen, like their staunch, I was going to say reluctance, it's the wrong word, but the fact that it's one of the hardest forms of fishing, and they do it daily, and they sell the fish, they keep that practice going. I've heard that as well. The government, in some respects, tries to make it slightly tricky for them to sell their catch. But from what you can see, like, it's carrying on regardless. It's amazing to see. So it's people's attitude to preserving that, I think.
Do you think food is more social, like eating and food is more of like a social event in Portugal than other countries?
You have that beautiful saying, sempre lugar mais like at the table, there's always room for one more.
There's always one more. Sempre tem lugar para mais Yeah.
That's beautiful. That I think that typifies, doesn't it, the Portuguese attitude? Yeah. It's a Southern European thing. People go out for lunch here. They take their time.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is to be true, but I've heard that, see people sitting at their desk, like eating a sandwich, working here.
Yeah.
So
and even it's so much so of a Southern European thing that even in the Americas, those same customs, you can tell the difference between North America and South America. Or if you're in the communities, then Italian communities, Portuguese communities, you'll see that. But the generalized North American culture isn't so much like that versus like South America, right? They're more about like joining at the table, everyone eating together.
Yeah, I think so. Doesn't the Tasca I need to actually explore Tascas a bit more and their meaning, but isn't that what a Tasca's all about? It's about everyone eating in the same place together by a family-run spot, and it feeds everyone from the worker to the lawyer.
I guess.
And it's I
never put too much thought into that, but that makes sense. It adds up, yeah.
I don't know that to be true. I think I read it somewhere, but it's... the point is, though, people go out and they'll sit down and they have their food with a knife and fork at a table, and there's not.
So the way you foresee it, you see a lot of pride in the Portuguese, like with their food traditions and culture. But are you afraid it could be disappearing with the younger generation, or do you still see it in the younger generation as you're exploring Portugal?
Good question. What I can tell you is we went and ate at a churrasqueira up about an hour north from Lisbon, near a beach. A young couple who like, the girl's Portuguese, but she kind of grew up in Bahrain for a bit. And her husband, they've got a little kid, and they chose to stay there and open a churrasqueira, which is hard work, and instead of looking for opportunity elsewhere. But you'd be best placed to answer that. I mean, what I would say is incentives.
No, from your perspective, like to be honest, like you're in the culture right now. I'm a little bit removed of it right now, so you would offer a unique idea,
Well, okay, my perspective is that this young couple had done exactly that. They'd stayed in Portugal. And but I wouldn't be able to tell you how many of their generation are doing the same thing. I
Yeah,
did
yeah,
ask them, and I think lots of them are still leaving to try and find work in other places.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I was going to say incentives matter, and it's
yeah, for sure.
one thing I'm noticing the longer I'm here is it is hard to work out how to make money.
Yeah,
It's
that's
really
why
it's
people
like
leave, right?
trying to work out how to survive and actually stay here.
Yeah.
Got here. How do we stay here?
No, for sure, for sure. And that's been the struggle with that's why we have so many immigrants, right? And it's not too entrepreneurial friendly, you know?
Yeah, like if you're 20 years old, you're leaving school. Like, give them. I don't know. Just give them. Don't no tax. Have kids.
Or
Help
at
them
least
out. Open
or at least don't
businesses.
complicate it so much, you know, like or at least like lessen some of the hurdles, you know, like
Yeah. Make it easier for them to start, open small businesses, and earn enough money to employ a couple of people and survive.
yeah.
And that's just an incentive thing. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not in
When
charge. That's
you
what I do.
No, that's a great answer. And when you guys are making your content and like you point the camera, like for example, at someone cooking, like what are you like actually trying to capture?
That's a really nice question. Well, I think you're trying to cat what we my favorite thing with food content is when I haven't been able to afford to travel, I've wanted to
Mhm.
vicariously experience the places I've wanted to go by watching the content. So those images to me need to represent as best we can exactly what we're feeling and seeing with our own eyes in the moment. So the viewer should be able to experience it as almost as though they were there. So I think it's capturing like authenticity, I think. And whatever that is, like, if it's like if it's the old lady that's been baking her whole life and she looks up and smiles at us, like that's amazing. She looked up and smiled.
Yeah.
If it's someone that, like, okay, they don't mind us filming, but it's a bit of a like frosty experience. Well, then we got to get
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
each
yeah.
experience is unique. And
For sure.
that's what makes things interesting and real
Yeah.
for the viewer. Yeah,
Where
maybe that, man.
where have you had a where have you had like where have you enjoyed it most? Like if you can narrow it down by sections, like the northern part of Portugal, center of Portugal, the Algarve. Where do you think you can have like a better time?
People think because we haven't actually shot any content from Porto
Okay.
or the Algarve, but I've been to Porto a couple of times and the Algarve, but I haven't been to Braga. I haven't been to
Yeah.
your town. There's a
Yeah.
lot of places I haven't been, the smaller cities, which we
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to go
yeah.
to. But
If you do go to my town, I'll send you a couple of recommendations for you to go.
that'd be cool. Yes, please. Yes, please,
Yeah.
Stephen. Do it, man.
Oh yeah, it's a couple of amazing spots for sure. Oh yeah.
Yes, yeah, send them, dude. Exactly, and that's how we learn where to go. Actually, it's when we talk. We like craft our whole thing around the comments. So based like that's like my research. I'm like, okay, 5 people have said this. That like begins our research of storytelling. Where can you go to have the best time? Anywhere. You're gonna have an amazing time no matter where you go in Portugal. It's gonna be different, but it's going to be fabulous. I loved Figueira de Foz. I loved that
You
wild, huge, sweeping beach. Nazaré with the surf culture felt like a festival. Like the waves came up. You went there and it's like, there's like beats going on. There's everyone standing with beers. You're going to have a good time. Go and do the history. Go to the go to Tomar. Go and study
yeah,
the Knights Templar if you want to
yeah,
really like go
yeah,
deep
yeah,
on the foundations of the country. So
yeah.
if you want to
It's
party, like
you
choose a
take
beach.
certain things you take certain things for granted. I lived there for 20 years and for a big period I worked in sales. I would drive by these places like every week. And sometimes like it's like shit. I never went inside, you know, like, and
Didn't do it.
and I see it from the outside every other day or something. You take
Do you
things
know
for granted
what?
because they're right there.
No, no, that comes from because I did the same everywhere I've lived now. Like I remember going when I lived in Australia for 7 years, and I'd seen it in my first 3 years more of Australia than any of my Australian
Yeah,
mates. But
yeah, yeah,
it's because when you know there's when you have like a finite cap on your amount of time somewhere, you're just gonna
yeah,
see as much as you can. But when you live
yeah,
there, it's like, I'll see it. I'll see it next year, tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? There's always
yeah, yeah.
tomorrow. There's not always tomorrow if there's a time limit on your stay.
You've explored a bit of the Alentejo, right?
Yes. Haven't
What's
filmed it, but I've
because
been.
I feel like it's not mentioned enough sometimes or referred to or anything. What's something that people should know about the Alentejo?
There's a quote I don't like about it. But I do think not liking the quote about it is what is amazing about it. It's like a lot of Americans will say, "Oh my God, it's like California used to be," and like, excuse my terrible American accent, but I'm like, a lot of Portuguese people don't like it when they hear that because they're like, "Well, it's not California, it's Portugal." But the truth is,
Yeah, yeah,
it's quiet, wild, slow moving, and pristine.
yeah.
Um, I feel like the word's getting out on it, but so I went there and I was gonna film food content, and I took the kids and we went for the weekend, and I had all these plans. And our first evening was like a little sat down by a lighthouse for the sunset. And I thought, I think I'll just enjoy this. I don't want to film anything. And anyway, like 3 days went by and I hadn't filmed anything. And I had a little look online. I thought, I better do one video. I can't waste the trip and not come out with one video. And there's a saying apparently in the Alentejo that and I forget it, but the crux of it is like slow down and enjoy the moment.
That's nice.
I think I don't know if it came from a famous poet that used to write down there, but
Mm,
anyway, that's
probably.
what I ended up doing. It just became about slowing down, and it is a
Yeah,
place. Time can slow down there. It's
yeah, for sure,
beautiful,
for sure, for sure, for sure.
but I don't know how much more beautiful it is, say, than the north, so like above Porto, because I've not been, and I imagine they're
Mm.
both as beautiful.
No, for such a small country, you really get it all there. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Do
really
you
get it
miss
all.
it?
What's that?
Do you miss it?
I miss it every day.
Do you?
That's one of the reasons why I started this whole podcast. I miss it every day, and I love to promote it. Sometimes I really feel like when you live there, like the Portuguese people that live there, obviously a lot of them love their culture and so on, but many of them, I really feel like they do take their culture for granted, and they don't appreciate it too much. Like a lot of the local ones, at least plenty that I know, at least. And I just want to showcase like how great it is, and its people, because it's not just about Portugal. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to connect like the whole of the Portuguese, speaking, like the diaspora with Portugal and vice versa. Just try to connect it.
Yeah, Luso
Promote it.
Grit, the name of your podcast. So Luso meaning Lusitanian.
Yeah, Luso meaning Lusitanian, and the grit is built on like the immigrant hustle,
Gotcha. Yeah, cool.
and
Yeah,
and the
the
grit it
grit.
took even for the air of the exploration, but mostly like the immigrant hustle, because in the end of the day, a lot of people, there's this famous saying like leaving their countries for a new land, like then like the land of the opportunities, and then they would say like it's the American dream. But if you really get down to it, like the American dream probably started on the islands, like the first discoveries we had before the Americas, and we started populating it, we started planting stuff there. Like that was like the origins of the American dream, right? Until it
That
got to
was the
America. So it's
the
this whole
OG
like
American dream.
immigrant mentality, you know.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's nice. It's a really nice name.
I'm
Makes
gonna
sense.
Yeah, like to me, it makes. I was thinking like I don't know how people will view it. I wasn't too like I liked it for me. Then I asked a few people. They're like, oh, it's not bad. It's easy to say. It's small. So I was like, then eventually I was like, let's do it. It's gonna stay Luso Grit.
Cool, man.
Well, I'm gonna
Yes.
name a couple of Portuguese foods I wrote down here. Name so
Go on then.
okay. And just your honest reaction. I'm gonna start with one, but obviously it's so you can do it 365 different ways, and then you just give like a reaction to each one. So bacalhau.
Delicious. And interestingly, not Portuguese at all.
Yeah, that's right. And
But totally Portuguese.
yeah,
Utterly Portuguese, but not.
sardinhas assadas. Grilled
Yeah.
sardine.
Peak food experience. The best, fish. Grilled fish doesn't get much better.
Francesinha.
I ate one, didn't film it yet.
No?
So, okay, it's just a quick reaction, isn't it? Well, I ate a really good one. So I went to like the best place for like a really good one because I'd traveled to a place in London many, many years ago for one. And I was kind of, I was shocked. I was shocked. It wasn't good. I was kind of shocked at what was going on. I was like, what's going on here? Over delivered. Here you go. Francesinha deserves its place on the map.
All right. Pastel de nata.
A true hero, true gastronomic hero.
Bifana.
Delicious and Moorish. Super, almost too simple at first as someone that's grown up with American pulled pork or amazing this, that, and the other. It's crazily simple, but then you get it.
Then you get it.
And you want it. Then you get it. And you want it.
How about frango assado, which you would probably call frango piripiri?
Peri chicken, frango assado con piripiri. Classic example of how the most simple grilling technique can produce some of the finest food.
Have you had cozido à portuguesa?
I haven't filmed it, but I've had it. Yes. Yeah. Delicious, deeply Portuguese. You're going to have to you might not blow you away straight away, but it's not for everyone. But when you get into it.
I felt it worked on me, it grew on me over the years. Yeah.
It's one of those, once you're into it, you're in. But it might, I reckon that'd be a bit Marmite for some people. Feijoada. Again, you got to get into it. But so black beans, right? I don't, when I ordered frango asado last night, delivering from my favorite place because we got in late. And now I order it with feijoada. But I wasn't ordering it with feijoada a few months ago. But once you start, you can't eat it without it.
You discover something new there. About octopus, polvo.
Amazing. And it's so good. I octopus rice, the way the Portuguese do it. It's very good. Good way to serve it. I struggle eating octopus because I know how wonderfully intelligent they are. So I'm always a little bit okay. Sorry, Mr.
Arroz de marisco, seafood rice.
Amazing. Totally delicious. But again, it's going to confuse you if you've never had it before because you've had risotto, but you haven't had seafood rice and it sits in the middle. It's not paella, it's not risotto. It's saucy and the rice has got a bite to it. But there's seafood in it. It's packed with more seafood than you'll get in Italy or Spain. Yeah, banging. Put peri-peri in it. Makes it better. Yeah.
Presunto. You know what that is?
Presunto. The ham.
The ham, but the dried, the salt-dried one, right?
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. Forget Spain. Every bit is good.
Okay.
Every bit's good. I got one at Christmas, a whole one, and just banged it on the table. And if you can get the black pork, it's ham on iberico, but it's not. It's the Portuguese black pig, and it's every bit as good.
How about caldo verde?
It's good. Again, it grows on you like the feijoada. You're not going to order it.
It's not my favorite soup. I like other heavier soups like sopa de peixe or sopa de pedra. But it's a nice soup, just like a light
Still haven't eaten sopa de pedra. Yeah, I mean, soups are a thing here. It's one of those, you go, if you got to get into them.
Okay. So what is one Portuguese food that you think is 100% criminally underrated?
I don't know about underrated. It was more of the fact that nobody knows you've got it. The leitão.
Okay.
Because it's one of at least when I ate it at the place I ate it, it's a top I called it a top 5. It's without a shadow of a doubt a top 10 food experience of my life. It's like unforgettable. Wow. So
All right.
yeah, criminally
No,
underrated.
I like leitão too for sure. I'll have it either way, either as the dish or the leitão sandwich. It's fine. Oh yeah.
Do you
Okay,
have it
let's.
out there in Toronto?
Well, there's spots that make it here. There's Portuguese spots that make it here. Yeah, I've had it
What would be
already.
cool, man? It would be to like, I could see somewhere like I could see you doing it here, but when I first ate it, I just thought, like, why isn't someone doing a restaurant called The Whole Hog? And why isn't the damn leitão like roasting in the middle with just a table all around? Do you know what I mean? Like Lord of the Rings style, and like boom,
Yeah, yeah.
it's just that's there you go. Shouldn't have said that on the podcast. Should open that.
No, you open it. Don't give
Yeah.
anyone ideas.
Yeah, cut that out. If anyone wants to go into business, let me know.
It's always something I always appreciate. Like I used to do sales, right? There was a route that I would have in Almeirim, which is like you know where that is? They have like a famous Praça
no.
Touros full of restaurants. But the cool thing about it is that the restaurants are very famous and they're very busy, but like you can see them cooking in the kitchen, you know? So it's pretty cool.
Got
cool.
you. Yeah. What did you used to sell?
I used to sell seafood.
Were you really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Man.
So we would it was mostly frozen seafood, like to restaurants and hotels and like pecherias and stuff. Then like on Fridays we would have like live seafood. Like for one route we had in up more interior in Castelo Branco. We would go there. So that was like our biggest route. It would take us like all day. We would leave at like 4 or 5 in the morning, come back at 10 in the evening. So it was like a big day.
Wow. Taking the live seafood from the coast.
Yeah, so we would pick it up the day before. We had some tanks so they can stay there overnight, and then we would take it. But that was just a one route thing. Mostly our thing was like frozen seafood.
Cool. Hey, what's that? How does Toronto's seafood stack up in comparison to what you can get here?
Well, for me, the standard is too high because like I am Portuguese and I knew the best Portuguese seafood spot, Marisqueiras, and I've seen nothing similar here. You can go to places and have fun stuff. People have tried in the Chinese buffets, this and that, but like that doesn't match up nothing to what we're used to. Like,
no.
I mean, I could be biased, but I don't think I am. Everyone who has it has the same opinion. So there are some Portuguese spots that do some stuff, but like they're not like marisqueiras, you know, like they do it, you know, they do some stuff and they do it good. I've enjoyed some seafood here for sure, but it's not the same.
Yeah,
because the problem with Portugal is not only do we know how to do it arguably better than others, but the quality that we use in Portugal is highest. Like we have the highest shrimp, we get it from Mozambique or Madagascar. The highest lobsters from Mauritania. The highest crabs is from like the northern France. Like literally we have the best seafood there. So you get used to a higher standard.
Yeah, you just have, it's unbelievable, man, the produce. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay, let's wrap this up by just a little another rapid fire one, like a short answer.
I'll try and give you one word.
Yeah, that's okay. Best city for food in Portugal. You're not going to make enemies, eh? It's okay.
I only have a short look. I had 24 hours in Porto that blew my mind, but Porto's I know amazing. Lisbon better, and Lisbon also blew my mind. All right. It's hard. I can't pick between them yet.
Through experience, you could probably choose Lisbon because you know more about it, probably. That's fine. Best seafood.
Sardines. There's sardines.
Best wine region.
Well, I am slow to discover them all, but so for me, I'm still Mr. Douro.
Douro, yeah, Douro is a good wine for sure. The best cheap Portuguese meal.
My go-to is Bitoque.
All right. Yeah, it's a safe. Oh yeah, that's a safe one for sure. Overrated Portuguese food.
Nothing. It suffers from being underrated.
And the best meal that you personally ever had in Portugal.
Leitão at Lagassa.
All right. And also, because we're talking about we've been talking about food a lot, but from my experience also, like what I've seen through my travels, Portugal is so criminally underrated with regards to bread and our pastries. Our bread and pastries don't get the spotlight they deserve.
Pastries 100% don't, in my opinion. In fact, we've got a whole series called A Piece of Cake, where we're just going around like spotlighting the history and each pastry and kind of telling people about.
And I saw a video. Poor guy, your partner, the one who films everything. I saw you mention in a video that he can't have gluten, so that must be hard.
He's gluten. He's gluten free.
Well, you're trying everything.
He can't drink beer or eat cakes.
Yeah.
Poor Phil, bless him. Yeah.
Okay. This was amazing. What's going to be next for the project? The global.
You're just going to see more relentless heritage pieces from things you've never heard about. We're going to be going north, south, east, and west, telling stories that haven't been told before, and then you're going to find out Portugal's top 10 frango assado con piri piri, and eventually a number 1.
Nice. Do that, please.
We're doing 100 restaurants around Portugal.
It's such a unique idea. It's such a unique idea for you to actually like show not just the food, because a lot of influencers do that, but you're showing the culture, like the traditions, the people making it. Please do continue with that. It's amazing. It fills my heart every time I see stuff like that.
Well, I will do, man. It's an honor to be able to tell the stories, and I always say it, but we just from me and all the English people, and then all of us immigrants here, like, I just thank the Portuguese people for having us in their country. So it's nice to be able to give something back, and it's Portugal's time to shine, bro. Like, we've heard enough about French and Spanish and Italian food. Portugal's time.
All right, Jamie, where can people follow you to help support your mission and build your platform? What are the best places for you?
At Global Food Quest, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, at Global Food Quest. Maybe Threads, we'll see. I'm getting just so much hate from the last post. I'm terrified to look at my phone.
That's the thing about the internet, eh? You please some, you know, it's not a purpose.
Yeah, you better have some thick skin.
Yeah, it's okay. Hey, but those ones help with the algorithm, so.
Oh yeah, yes, you've been hate viewed to 1 million.
Yeah. Jamie, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing a bit of your project, what you've been doing, and your experiences in Portugal. I thought it was really, it was a really neat idea to show it from like a British perspective. But it's not just a British perspective, because you have global experience. Like, you've traveled the world, you've been almost everywhere. Like this, it's a unique perspective. So like I was really happy when you said you would join me. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me on, Stephen. It's nice to be in touch, man. Appreciate it.
No, we're going to keep in touch. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go this year, didn't work out. So next year, 100%. I don't know if it's in the summer or not, but I want to make it out there. Then if you get out there, maybe we could do a little trip together.
Yeah, that'd be nice, man. Let's have a beer.
All right, let's do it. Jamie, thank you so much.
Thank you, bro. Good to speak, mate.
Cheers.